Hey everybody, on this week's episode of Mike's Custom Works, we have the dipping going on now. We're going to be actually removing the old plastic, tape wrap off of some of the interior parts. Everything got cleaned, everything got washed, everything is towel dried, and now stuff is going to get prepped into a dipping stage. We're also going to be doing a lot of the engine component parts as well, so those are going to be nicely done. And I have a little surprise that I'm going to do with the sub box with the old seat cover. So I hope you guys enjoy the video.
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right now with the updating and upgrading of the 2009 Chrysler. We have some of the components right now. They have a nice, they were dipped, so they got a nice color going on with them right now. We're going to actually dip the front lens cover, but I got to take off all those components so that can happen. That's going to be fun. What we're doing today is we're going to do that, get that dipped. Once that dries, all these components are going to get clear coated as well. They're going to get, moved around so they're facing upward. They're all going to get clear coated. The sub box, we're going to take the screws off of here and remove this plastic collar that's on here, and the old leather seat covers, they're actually going to go over the sub box. So it's going to look pretty nice, and they're going to sit behind it, so it just kind of gets rid of that wood look and just has a nice finished look. So when it's sitting in the car, it looks a lot nicer than it is. And then that's going to be quick and easy. Then that's going to go back in the car. But before that goes back in the car, I'm going to vacuum out the trunk space, get that all nice and clean. So this is a 3/16. Let's see if that fits. That doesn't work. It's smaller than a 3/16. Of course, someone probably watching the video has a Chrysler and probably already took this fucking thing off, and they're like, it's a 1/3. So what? Fucking. Oh, crap, hold up. It's in here somewhere. Ow! Fucking, I got upholstery pins stabbing my knee in the hand. This is always like the world's biggest pain. You have to find the fucking shit you need. And this is for taking off fucking whatchamacallits. I think that yeah, taking off whatchamacallits. Looks like a good tool, right? Let's see if that fits. They're small. These are really fucking tiny. I know I have these attachments that are really small. Oh, this is so gay. All this lighting and I can't see in the fucking bucket. What the hell? That looks really good. That's a 4. Oh, it's tight. It's good and tight. Like a good. Ow! My knee. My leg. Dennis, as my friend Dennis would say, my leg. I just need the side of the fucking toolbox. My leg. Oh my god. Maybe I'll have the motherfucker come over. He can help. Oh, Jesus fuck. I'm gonna put the camera down for a second. That never happens. But anyway, so it's a number 4 Stanley, so I don't know if it's metric or whatnot. So I'm gonna take this off and this off, and this comes off. But like I said, I need the flathead for that. I got those right there. And take those off. I'm gonna make another bath of dip, and I'm gonna dip this cover in really nice, and then that's gonna sit off to the side. And then, like I said, we're going to start working on doing the sub box so we can get that bitch back in the car and get the trunk vacuumed and then sterilized and shit. So, anyway, this is going to cut to the video, and you guys enjoy. Gets like, this gets all set up, and there's audio with this, music playing, because I don't need to sit here and just talk at like a mile an hour when I'm doing stuff fucking slow as fuck right now. Motherfucker. I feel like doing it the right way. Do it the wrong way. Don't follow me. No, don't follow me. Just stay there. On this episode of Tool Time,
More power.
more power. When you just don't feel like doing things the right fucking way, you go for the Tim Allen way. Viewer discretion is advised. Do not do this at home. This is how you strip fucking car parts. What's this one? Easy off? Yeah, it's an easy off. Easy jerk you off, baby. Yeah, that's why they give you those things. Fuck. It's stupid to do that because then you're scratching it and it just looks like shit afterwards. And if people are wondering, is this permanent? Yes, yes, it's permanent versus plastic dip where it wouldn't be permanent. You could just peel it off, or you do like the vinyl or the taping, or you do like you do the wrap stuff like this stuff is. You know, this product I used on my truck, this is very cheap wrap. It's adhesive wrap. That works too. That stuff works pretty good. I did that on my truck like 5 years ago and it's still holding. But it's on interior parts, which it would be anyway. Wording that sentence. So anyway, what I was getting at is if you wanted to at some point in time remove this, you can't really remove it. You would have to either buy a new part or repaint it. And repainting it is easy. It's just a stupid freaking silver coating that's on it. So we're gonna reactivate the paint in the water by spraying it with paint. First you gotta shake a can. You want to like spray the water in different spots because you're supposed to change the water between sprays so that you don't get the residue left over, stuck on your fucking shit you're trying to do, but unfortunately I like to not do things the right way. Such as don't breathe the paint when you're spraying. My lungs don't need to be red. But apparently my brain didn't tell myself not to do that. That looked pretty cool. Now, the panel was mainly more red than it was black. So I'm kind of trying to do that right now. Oh, fucking can you suck dick. Alright, that looks pretty dope. I like that little womp right there. So I'm going to try to grab that shit right now before it goes anywhere. And you always want to start off really nice and slow, and then you just kind of work your way in at an angle. And go down. Of course you got some residue film lingering everywhere. It's everywhere! And that has a pretty cool look to it. Because it's mainly has that red on it, and it's got like that really kind of cool marble going on with it right this second. So I'm going to stick that right here.
Yeah, that's really, really nice right around that hole.
Yeah.
The circle hole.
Yep. Oh, that stuff can get cleaned up. That. So that looks good. Those are the parts from last night. Everything has a nice little different look to it. So it really just kind of really makes things look really nice. There's nothing worse than fucking when you do shit like this. The stuff looks exactly the same because we're going for a red and black marble look to things. So this stuff's dry already, so it doesn't really have to all sit together. But fuck, I can't fucking do anything anymore in my life. Fuck that, I gotta get these gloves off. Oh. And everything's gonna get wiped down anyway. I'm just looking at something quick. Motherfucker, why don't you stop falling over? There we go. Alright. I'm gonna line up all the parts together. And then this was like the cup holder section. There's a, what's so squishy? That's a clip. So a lot of this one is the, you know, fuck, there's water in there. So this one's still a little tacky, but that's fine. Okay. Cool. Good shit. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start the wall. Try to remember what my name is. So putting that there, and this is the clear coat that I'm gonna use. There's this stuff here. It's a gloss clear. Twice the coverage. Rust-Oleum. There's no real reason why. It's not like it's really any better. It just gives it like a really nice glossy look. And you know, let's say Friday, I want these parts to be back in the car at like 6 o'clock this afternoon. So that means that as soon as that top panel is dry, it's getting clear coat, and doesn't just get one coat, it gets 10 coats of clear coat. And the first 3 coats of clear coat are just like a psst, psst, done. And psst, psst, done. And then I go, north and south, and east and west, and then I just crisscross, like that. And then I do a top up and down and stuff, and it gives it like a nice coverage. And then I start getting like really heavy on the clear coat. The biggest thing is you want to make sure the paint is actually dry, because if you can zoom in on the hole where the clock goes, that clock it at the right fucking time too when I dipped it in there. And the last thing I want to do is, while that's wet, is run heavy clear coat on it, because it's just going to change that angle of the paint, and it's going to run, and it's going to look like shit. So that I'm just going to wait for a while, and it doesn't matter. It's not an emergency getting in, but I would preferably like to fucking figure out what I was going to say. I would like to try to get that in the car ASAP, preferably today, but if that doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. Also, always, for an example, like these attachments and these parts, leave all your parts together. It's a good rule of thumb when you're working on a car, because when I was working on my Camaro, I had like 10 different sockets everywhere, and I started grabbing all my parts and I started sticking them on the dashboard of the car. I go to get a socket, and the same stupid socket was used somewhere else, and that fucking socket is somewhere in the car. And then I find it, and I wasted like 3 hours looking for a stupid socket. I'm like, oh my god. So yeah, like that goes on there. Like this hole is small, I can't stick that on there. So this little butt piece goes into there, then this attachment goes onto there, and you do all these different attachments to get to the tip of it. I know this is useless, and a lot of you probably know it. And if nobody does know it, or wasn't thinking of it, that's a good thing to do. You can also always take them apart too, so your stupid cup doesn't fall off the fucking ledge and hit the ground, and your screws are everywhere. Okay. So now we're going to transition over to the sub box. Well, that is drying. I say that's going to take like maybe a couple hours to dry. So like I said, I'm not going to push that shit right this second. So like I said, it's not on the list to get shoved.
Alright everybody, so we got some of the parts actually ripped out of the engine bay of the car right now as it sits. Some of this stuff is getting painted. Dennis is here. He's got his wife's little red car over there. So he's actually going to be going through this engine bay. I'm going to give him a couple of the cleaners to clean. We took off the top part of the engine and we clogged the holes so that nothing gets inside there, because the last thing you want is this foamy shit inside your engine that kind of looks like fucking brownies. Foamy brownie shit. All this is going to get wiped down. It's going to get sprayed. It's going to get cleaned. It's going to look completely different. I'm going to be inside getting all that stuff ready. So that's my neighbor's son's Stingray. Ooh. That thing's pretty nice. Same year as my car, which is kind of funny too. When he's like, when I asked him, he says, "Yeah, it's a 2015." I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, "That's funny." But anyway, so everything's all tagged here. So while he's cleaning that out and getting all that crap out of there, and then detailing the engine bay, I'm going to start dipping some of those engine component parts that I took out. But first I got to clean them before I dip them, because I don't want to get all that fucking oil off of everything before it starts looking like shit. But we have the hoses here, we have the fuse cap. We took out these components here. These are the lip that are right by the grill. This is the air box, or the air filter box, depending on how you people want to word that sentence. So I got to take the filter out. I have the throttle body is still attached to the rest of the head unit, and I have a couple of electronics that are still attached. So I want to remove those things before I really start, before I drop this thing into the dip, because I don't want any of those electronics to get fucked up. And unfortunately, on the breather hose, I couldn't get this piece out, and I don't want to break it. And like I said to him, I'm tired of buying parts. It just gets aggravating. I break a part, I gotta go to the parts store, and it's just like another $2, $3, $4 that's just, you know, out of pocket, and you just end up wasting money like there's no tomorrow. But there's all that. I don't know if I did show it in the video. I think I was before, and then I got sidetracked with shit. But we have that paneling right there, and then also the sub box is done. So I finished the sub box. That's what happened. I stopped doing the video because the camera decided to die, even though it's charged all night long. But we have the seat repurposed on there. It's all nicely sprayed. It's all taut. It's all attached in there. It's waiting to go back into the trunk of the car. But first I have to have all the other electronics arrive, and once those electronics arrive, then I can put the sub box back in and run all the wiring through there. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm going to start running the video soon on these getting cleaned and prepped, and then they're going to start getting dipped when I get a chance. Those guys will be getting clear coated soon, so laundry list of shit. Alrighty guys, so we painted a lot of the engine components. This is, it's been drying for a little bit. We gotta get a little bit more water off of it, and I'm going to start clear coating it. That's the top of the engine, that's the air box, it's the air pipe. Those two pieces go over the front of the grill, and we also have the fuse box. While also waiting for other stuff to stuff to dry, I started clear coating some of the interior parts, and as you can see, that shine is just slowly collecting on it. It still needs about 3 to 4 more layers before we do it, because we really want to try to get this a little bit more shinier, but not too much. And when you get that clear coat on it, it makes things a lot easier, so that if it gets dirty or messy, you just wipe it with a wet towel, and you don't have to use any harsh chemicals. That's the other thing too, because harsh chemicals will remove the paint. So when they're a painted surface, you cannot use any harsh chemicals. Now, unfortunately, one of the weird things is I got a notification that the seat covers that I ordered didn't come in. So I had to run over to the parts store, which I really didn't want to, and buy seat covers that are very similar to it. So we're going to be putting those on the car very shortly. And the horns that I wanted to go for, they didn't have, because those also got returned, luckily, right? Like anything else. So those things got returned. So I ended up buying the Extreme Powerhouse air horns from Wooloo. I was going for the truck horns from Wooloo, but I do remember those are a little bit more nastier and stuff. So I had to bite the bullet and go for 2 seat covers. There's another box and then another horn, while the other parts are being returned. But that's how life is during this Rona time. Everything is always ass backwards. So we're going to hit some clear coat on some parts. These things have to dry a little bit more. Probably going to stick them in the sun. So I just want to get that water off so I can start clear coating them. And then what we're going to switch over and do is we have the car masked off on one side of it. And we're going to actually start painting this here. Is all going to start getting painted black. So we're going to start painting that all nice and black. I got to clean it up a little bit. Do this side, then do the other side. So it's a fun day in paradise.
Alright everybody, so that's the end of that episode. I know it's kind of short and sweet. I'm going to have another episode coming up probably next week or the week after and stuff. I got another project I've been working on, so unfortunately that's why there's been such a little delay on getting actually the videos out there. But the last episode will be coming up, and I hope you guys enjoy. We did a lot of painting. Unfortunately, I lost a little bit of video footage and stuff. It didn't really get lost, just more or less because we were so busy and trying to get stuff done. I had a lapse of judgment on charging my camera with a dead battery pack charger, which I didn't know it was dead until I went to go look at it, and it was always off for a lot of footage. But unfortunately, that's what happens with things. So, guys, I hope you liked the episode. Share it with your friends. And if you are interested in doing this to a Chrysler, definitely hit me up.